The image provided is a line graph that gives information about the annual temperature change in Europe, while the x-axis represents 2002, 2006, 2012. The y-axis represents 12, 14, and 15. It is evident that in the year 2020, the temperature is the highest, which is 16 degrees Celsius. A notable observation is that in the year 2003, the temperature is the least, which is below 11 degrees Celsius. Overall, the image highlights different temperature change in Europe from the year 2000 to 2020.
The following line chart gives information about annual temperature change in Europe from 2000 to 2020. As we can see from the picture, the value in 2000 is around 12 and then goes down in 2001 till 11. The lowest point is in 2003 around 5 and the highest point is in 2020 with a value of 16. To sum up this graph information about annual temperature change in Europe over the years.
This picture gives information about annual temperature change in Europe. In the picture, the biggest proportion is 2020, which is about 60%, and the smallest proportion is 2002, which is about 11%. In the picture, there are minimum and maximum 12 and 13%. In conclusion, this picture is about annual temperature change in Europe.
The provided image is a line graph which gives information about the annual temperature change in Europe from 2000 to 2020. The x-axis represents the information about year, whereas the y-axis gives information about the average temperature in Celsius. Getting into the details, we can clearly evident that in 2000 the annual temperature has been the lowest, whereas from 2008 there has been the massive increase in the temperature up to 2020. Another interesting point is that the highest temperature has in 2016. So to conclude, it gives information about the annual temperature change in Europe.
The line graph is giving information about the annual temperature change in Europe from the period of 2000 to 2020 in degrees Celsius. The trend started with the value of 12 in 2000, then it had two dips in 2001 and 2003, then it rose gradually and it had some fluctuations up to 2008, then it had a sharp rise in 2010, then again it had a dip in 2012. Further, it started to rise and with two dips in 2016 and 2018. Finally, it reaches the value of 16 in 2020. Overall, it is giving a fluctuating trend.
The line graph gives information about annual temperature change in Europe 2000 to 2020. On the x-axis mentions some years 2000, 2002, 2004, 2006, 2008, 2010, 2012, 2014, 2016, 2018, 2020. On the y-axis highlighted average temperatures degrees Celsius 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. The highest value is 2020 covered by 16 degrees Celsius and the lowest value is 2000 and 2003 covered by 11 degrees Celsius. Overall, the line graph gives information about annual temperature change in Europe 2000 to 2020.
The line chart provides the information about annual temperature change in Europe. X-axis represents the number of years and y-axis represents the average temperature in Celsius. However, in 2000 the temperature is about 12 degrees Celsius. Moreover, in 2018 the temperature is also about 12 degrees Celsius. Furthermore, in 2014 the temperature is about 15 degrees Celsius. At last, in 2020 the temperature is about 16 degrees Celsius, which is the highest one. Overall, the line chart provides the information about annual temperature change in Europe from 2000 to 2020.
This is an image of a line graph. It is representing about the annual temperature change in Europe in the both 2 years. The 2 years is 2000 and in between 2020. There is also the year distribution is presented on the x-axis, and on the y-axis it is saying about the average temperature in the form of degrees Celsius. It is starting with the number of 11 and it is ending in the number of 16. And there is a dotted line structure in the color of green color, and it is varying from different years. It is actually decreasing or increasing, and there is also a many number distribution is there. And overall this image is giving the clear idea about the change in the Europe, especially for the temperature. And this image is very informative, and thank you.
The image is about line graph which shows about annual temperature change in Europe in the year of 2000 and 2020. On y-axis we have average temperature, which is represented by degrees Celsius, and on x-axis we have different years ranging from 2000 to 2020. In the year of 2000 we just have the average temperature to 12 degrees Celsius. However, in 2010 it has increased to 14 degrees Celsius. Moreover, in the year of 2020 the temperature is increased to 16 degrees Celsius. Therefore, the graph is increasing over the years, and it is the information about annual temperature change in Europe.
Annual temperature change in Europe 2000 to 2020 was the main topic of the image. Firstly, average temperature in centigrade was on left side, years was on right side of the picture. 2000 was also mentioned in the picture. 2002 was also highlighted. 2004 was also given in the picture. The highest range is 2020, which is 16 centigrade, and the lowest range is 2004, which is 12 centigrade. 2008 was first element, 2010 was second element, and 2012 was third element. Green color was first element, blue color was second element, and white color was second, black color was third element. To conclude, annual temperature.
This picture gives information about the Europe temperature. In this line chart, explain about the annual temperature change in Europe 2000 to 2020. In this picture, the highest temperature in 2020, which is 16 centigrade, and the lowest percentage of temperature is below than 11. And also explain about the other years like 2008, 2010, and 2016. The highest percentage is 16, and the lowest percentage in this picture is 11. Overall, the pictures were very informative to give us information about the annual temperature change in Europe.
The picture gives information about annual temperature change in Europe ranging from 2000 to 2020. From the picture, the horizontal axis shows the years and the vertical axis shows the average temperature in centigrade degree. The highest value goes to 2020 with about 16 degrees, and the minimum value is for 2003 with about 7 degrees. We have also in 2010 about 14 degrees. In conclusion, I can say the picture gives information about annual temperature change in Europe.
The line chart provides the information about the annual temperature change in Europe. X-axis represents the number of years and y-axis represents the numbers. However, in 2000 it is about 12. Furthermore, in 2014 it is about 15. At last, in 2020 it is about 16, which is the highest one. Overall, the line chart provides the information about the annual temperature change in Europe.
The picture below gives us information about the annual temperature change in Europe from the year 2000 to 2020. From the picture, it can be seen that in year 2000, the average temperature was 12 degree, with the same in 2008 as well. But by the time passed and it kept increasing, and by the years of 2020, the temperature was almost 16 degree. From the picture, it can be seen that
the given image is a line graph, and it gives information about annual temperature changes in European countries from the year 2000 up to the year 2020. Firstly, it is clear that in the year 2002, that's when the temperatures were less than 11, and the highest temperatures were in the year 2020. And in conclusion, we can safely say that in the year 2020, that's where we had the highest temperatures in Europe of more than 16, and the least being the year 2002, where the temperatures were less than 11.